Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanika, and on this channel I make videos about makeup and being pale. In today's video I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this look here using all products from the drugstore that are under $20. Now if you're not from Australia, you're probably thinking, whoa, drugstore prices under $20? That's a bit steep. But in the land down under, it's actually quite good to find a decent drugstore product for $20 or less. So if you want to see what I used to achieve this look, then keep on watching. I hate when I do little guns. What am I, some kind of Western cowboy? Bang. Alright, so I have cleansed my face and applied all my serums and moisturizers and all that skincare stuff. So now I'm going to go in with a primer and the one I'm using today is the Maybelline Master Prime Hydrating Primer. So these Master Prime primers are a new release to Priceline. So there's the hydrating one, there is an anti-redness one, which usually I would go for, but it wasn't very green. So I did like test it out on my hand and it didn't look like it really counteracted the redness that much, so I gave that one a skip. I think there's also a mattifying one and maybe a luminous one. I've really been enjoying this one. It's got hyaluronic acid in it, so that is really good for moisturizing the skin. Next, I'm going to do some color correcting, of course. I do have quite a few lovely breakouts at the moment, so let's get rid of those. For my redness, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Camo Color Correcting Pen, and this is in the green shade. Oh, I don't have any of my bloody brushes in here. Got them. I cleaned them all the other day, so they're nice and fresh. Okay, so with that green concealer, I've just put a little bit on the back of my hand so that I don't contaminate the actual applicator with germs from my breakouts, and I'm going to use a brush to apply it. I absolutely love green concealer. Look how much of a difference that has made. Come on. Next, to go ahead and hide the actual green color, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair and go over all the areas where I've put down the green. This step isn't necessary, but I do like to do it because that way I don't have to pack on the foundation to try and cover the redness. It's already done with the concealer. And then just with the same brush, I'm going to do small dabbing motions to blend that out. If you're interested in seeing an in-depth tutorial on how I cover my redness, I will link that down in the description box for you. So this is what it looks like once it's been blended out. I'll insert a little clip now of before color correcting, and this is what it looks like after. So you can see how much of a difference it makes and why I always do it. And then for a little bit more color correcting, I'm going to be using the NYX Dark Circle Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair. And I'm going to put a little bit of this under my eyes. So you can see the difference right away. This is the eye I have color corrected and this eye I haven't. I love doing this step to cover up the darkness under my eyes because that way I don't have to use as much concealer to do it. Alright, now I have a more even-toned canvas to work with, so let's go in with foundation. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in the shade 110 Porcelain. I've just gone and applied that all over my face, and I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend it in. Next, I'm going to go in with some cream contouring, and today I'm using the Rimmel Insta Duo Contour Stick, and this is in the shade Medium. Next, to conceal under my eyes, I'm going in with my Essence Camouflage Concealer in the shade 05 Ivory. Now this one does claim to be a full coverage concealer. I find that if I do 2 layers, I do get quite a full coverage, but 1 layer just isn't quite enough. And then to set under my eyes and the rest of my face, I'm going in with this Models Prefer Mineral Finishing Veil Powder. This packaging, it has a mirror in here, which when you first open it, you're like, wow, what a good idea. But then it gets powder all over it, so I don't understand why they put a mirror in there. You know what I mean? So before I apply the powder, I just go back in with my blender to make sure it's all smooth. I'm really loving this powder. It feels really lightweight. I hate when you put a loose powder under your eyes and it feels all like crusty and thick. This one feels super light and it looks really smooth. And then for the rest of my face, I'm just going to take a brush and apply a light layer. Moving on, I'm going in with a bronzer that I haven't used in quite a while, but it is one that I absolutely love and recommend to anyone who has pale skin. And it is the original Rimmel Kate Contouring, that's not a word, Contouring Trio. You get a highlighter, a contour, for us pale people though, it's more of a bronzer, and a blush. So as you can see, this color in the middle does have quite a cool undertone to it, but it also has a bit of a shimmer, so it works as a beautiful bronzer if you've got fair skin. Next for blush, I'm going in with the Essence Matte Touch blush in the shade Peach Me Up. The blush in the Rimmel Trio is also really nice, but it does have a bit of shimmer in it, and I would like to use something matte today, as I do have a few pimples on my cheeks and I don't really want to, you know, highlight them. If I ever go too heavy on my blush or bronzer, I just like to go in with my beauty blender and kind of pat around the edges and just help fade it and melt it into the skin a bit more. Now for one of my favorite parts, the highlighting. And today I have this highlighter by Model's Own, and it is in the shade Peach Me Up. No, it's not. That's what the blush was called. It's in the shade Peach Pearl. This highlighter formula is one of my favorites I've ever used at the drugstore. It is so creamy and beautiful. A lot of other highlighters I've tried do feel quite chalky, but this one is amazing. It is quite pink though. I do prefer something a bit more champagne, but it still works beautifully if you've got fair skin. Next, I need to do something about these brows, and as you can tell, they are quite dark at the moment. I did attempt to tint them at home, and I was trying to be really cautious and not leave it on for that long, but I left it on for too long, and now they're really dark, so. But that's all right. I'm just rocking the bold brow for a while until it fades. Okay. All right, so in with a spoolie just to brush them out. And my favorite eyebrow powder that I just always use, and I'm sorry, you're probably sick of seeing it, but it's just the best, is the NYX Eyebrow Cake, and this is in the shade Blonde. And then to set my super dark brows in place, I'm going in with the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel. I find this just does a really good job at actually grabbing onto the tiny amount of hairs that I have and helping to make my brows look more bushy than what they really are. So, A+. Now moving on to the eyes, I'm going in with this NYX Lid Lingerie Eyeshadow Palette. Now trying to find a decent eyeshadow palette at Priceline for under $20 was actually quite hard. This one here was $20 exactly. Now this one does only have 6 shades, but they are quite big pans, and all the colors I think I would get quite a lot of use out of. So let's zoom in and have a play. So first of all, I'm going back in with the Essence Camouflage Concealer, and this is going to be my eyeshadow base. So I've just applied that concealer and then gone in with this buffer brush to blend it out. Now I'm not going to set it with a powder, so I'm just kind of tapping over it so that it sets in place. I'm just going to start with this peachy shade here, and this is going to be my transition. I think I'm going to go for a halo eye today. So because I haven't set my eyelid, firstly I'm going to just pat this color down. And then once I've got enough of that color down that it's not going to pull on the concealer, I can start blending it out. Then I'm going to take this deeper burnt orange shade, and this is also going to go in the crease, but I'm not going to bring it up as high. Now that I've packed that color down and blended it out, I'm going back in with the first brush I used with that lighter shade, and I'm just going to gently go over the edges to make sure those two shades are blended together. Then on a little bullet brush, I'm going to go in with this deeper shade here and put this on the inner and outer corners and slightly blend it into the center. So this shade has blended really nicely on the inner corner, but as you can see, it's a little bit patchy on this outer corner. So I'm just going to keep packing it on and trying to blend it out, and hopefully I can get it looking a bit nicer. Alright, so I've spent a bit of time blending that out. It is looking better, but it's still not the best. Look at this eye here, it's just a big patch and I cannot get the color to stay there. I have used the lighter shades in this palette, but I haven't used the dark ones, so now I know. Maybe you just can't get a good eyeshadow palette for under $20 at Priceline. The other two shades I used did blend out really nicely though, so it's a real pity that this dark brown is being a little bitch. Before I do the lower lash line, I am going to pop my center lid color on, and for that I'm using this Australis Shimmer Pot, and this is in the shade Nearly Naked. I'm going to go in with a glitter glue first. I don't have one from Priceline, but I'm pretty sure NYX does make one if you're after one from the drugstore. And I'm just going to pop that in the center of the lid. Oh, look at how bright that is. And then I'm just going to go back in with a mix of that orange and brown shades to blend out the inner and outer corners. For the lower lash line, I'm going to start out with this color here, and then I'll go in with this one, and on a smaller brush, I'll use this one here. Next, I'm going to take a liquid eyeliner and do a thin line across my lashes, and this is going to help to disguise my lash band. And then I'm going to put on a thin coat of mascara. This one is the Colossal Big Shot by Maybelline. I've got two pairs of lashes here that I was going to choose from. The first ones are by Ardell, and they are the Natural Demi Wispies. These are really good if you're just after something to give you a little bit more extra volume. And then the ones I'm going to use today are by Ilua, and they are from their new Luxe range. And these ones are in the style Opulent. I'm going to do a nude shade for my lips. I know, what's new? First of all, I'm using my Maybelline Color Sensational Lip Liner in the shade Nude Whisper. And then my lipstick shade is by Australis and it is called Mumbo. Then to finish off, I'm going to spritz with my Rimmel Insta Fix and Go setting spray. Alright, well this is the finished look using a full face of products under $20. I hope you enjoyed watching today. Make sure you leave me a comment down below telling me what you think, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I will have all the products that I used listed down below, but if you have any other questions, just leave me a comment. I hope you all have a great week and I will see you in my next video. Bye!